She's already 300 kilos and wants more. Meet the 700-pound bride, 10-foot waist man, and the teen who lost 208 pounds. You've probably heard of people trying to lose weight, but Monica Riley, she's aiming to become one of the heaviest women in the world, on purpose. And not just a little heavy. Her goal is to reach a mind-bending 1,000 pounds. That's right, Monica, who already tipped the scales at over 700 pounds or 300 kilos, openly shares her dream of becoming completely immobile and being taken care of full-time. She once said she wanted to be a queen who can't move without help. Sounds shocking? That's exactly how she wants it. Monica lives in Texas and used to be a model for what's called the feederism community. Yes, that exists. It's a subculture where people take pride in extreme weight gain, but Monica went even further. She and her fiancé at the time, who supported her dream, crafted a daily eating schedule that would leave most people stunned. We're talking nearly 8,000 calories a day. Burgers, fries, shakes, massive breakfasts, and late-night snacks were all part of the plan. She even drank protein-packed milkshakes through a funnel to keep gaining with less effort. At one point, Monica said she wanted to become the world's fattest woman, and she had a detailed strategy: stay in bed, eat non-stop, and let her partner take care of everything. Of course, over time, her story took some unexpected turns. Health scares and changes in her personal life started slowing down her mission. She later made public comments about reconsidering her path, especially after learning she might want children one day. But the internet never forgot her bold statements, and her images showing her lounging in bed surrounded by food trays still circulate in online forums. If Monica Riley made jaws drop, Donna Simpson kept them hanging there. She wasn't just known for her size, she became internet famous for wanting to be bigger. Much bigger. At her peak, Donna weighed over 600 pounds, but her goal was to reach 1,000. What made her stand out wasn't only her weight, but the way she turned her life into a show. Literally, she built a fan base by live streaming herself eating mountains of food, cakes, pizzas, lasagna, you name it. People paid to watch her chew, and Donna? She was cashing in. She lived in New Jersey, raised a daughter, and didn't shy away from public attention. In fact, she went after a Guinness World Record for being the heaviest woman to ever give birth, and she got it. Her C-section made headlines because the operating table had to be specially modified to support her. What surprises most people is how open she was about her lifestyle. She wasn't hiding it or ashamed, she was proud. Donna had a website where fans donated money so she could continue gaining. She would blog about her meals and post photos regularly. Every added pound was treated like progress. But it wasn't just about food, it was about power. For Donna, gaining wasn't a side effect. It was the main event. Her dream was to become so large she couldn't walk more than a few steps at a time. And for a while, she was living it. Eventually things changed. As her daughter grew up, Donna decided to shift course. She started slimming down and moved away from the spotlight. But the legacy of her public weight gain remains one of the wildest stories the internet has ever seen. And yet, as big as she got, Donna still weighed less than the man I'm about to talk about. A man who pushed human weight limits further than anyone in recorded history. No story about extreme weight is complete without John Brower Minnoch. He wasn't just heavy, he was the heaviest human ever officially documented. Born in Washington State, John's size became noticeable early on. At just 6 years old, he already weighed more than 200 pounds. By his teenage years, he was over 400, and it didn't stop there. John's body seemed to defy biology. By his early 30s, he had ballooned to more than 1,400 pounds. Doctors estimated he gained over 200 pounds in a single year. His condition was so severe that it took over a dozen firefighters and a specially built stretcher to transport him to the hospital. Standard medical equipment couldn't handle his size. Nurses had to improvise with bedsheets and pads just to move him. What really sets John apart, though, is the mystery behind it all. His weight gain wasn't simply about overeating, it was driven by a rare metabolic and fluid retention disorder. His body stored massive amounts of water weight. Some believed he held over 900 pounds of excess fluid at one point. And yet, John was mentally sharp and deeply aware of what was happening to him. One of the most astonishing parts of his life? He got married. Yes, John had a wife, and together they had children. People are often stunned to learn that someone who weighed more than a grand piano could live a life that included romance and family. John's story wasn't just about numbers on a scale. It was about a body pushed to physical extremes. Before John Brower Minnoch shattered every weight record, there was Robert Earl Hughes, a man who, for a time, held the title of the heaviest human alive. Compared to John's towering number, Robert's peak of just over 1,000 pounds might seem like second place, but in his day there was no one like him. Born in Illinois in 1926, Robert's size grew fast and never slowed down. By the age of 6, he already weighed over 200 pounds. Robert didn't hide away from the world. In fact, he leaned into it. He made a living by traveling across the country and appearing at fairs and carnivals. Crowds lined up to see the world's heaviest man, and Robert greeted them all with a smile. He didn't just sit there either. He played piano, cracked jokes, and answered questions about his weight with complete honesty. His body may have limited his movement, but not his charm. One of the most incredible things about Robert is how self-sufficient he tried to be. Despite his massive size, he avoided using a wheelchair for as long as he could. He even designed his own custom chair, which looked more like a small sofa, just to get around. He also had to have all of his clothing specially made. His shirts were the size of picnic blankets, and his pants needed yards of fabric just for one leg. And still, Robert's record was eventually eclipsed by Brower Minnoch. John weighed over 400 pounds more at his peak, but in terms of public presence and personality, Robert left a huge mark. He became a symbol of what extreme weight looked like in mid-20th century America, before reality TV and viral videos. He didn't have the internet to broadcast his life, but newspapers and black and white cameras captured enough to make him a legend. Renee Williams made headlines not just for her size, but for what that size meant. At the time of her public story, she weighed over 850 pounds and was gaining rapidly. What made her case so different from others wasn't just the number on the scale, it was the fact that her body reached a point where surgery wasn't even an option. Hospitals struggled to find equipment that could handle her weight. CT scans? Too small. Operating tables? Not strong enough. She had developed a rare condition that caused her to gain extreme amounts of weight at a shocking pace. In just 1 year, her body added over 200 pounds. And she wasn't just sitting still. Renee was a mother, had a full personality, and tried to live a normal life from her bed. But she was also stuck in it. Her legs could no longer support her frame, and walking became impossible. She relied on her daughter and full-time care. Her story caught international attention when she appeared in a British documentary that followed her battle to qualify for life-saving surgery. But here's where it gets wild. Doctors had never operated on someone this large before. The risks were enormous. Even getting her to a hospital took a team of specialists, custom equipment, and multiple hours of planning. There was no blueprint for handling a case like Renee's. Her journey shocked viewers because it showed a limit. What happens when the human body pushes the scale so far that medicine isn't prepared for it? And yet, through all the challenges, Renee's story remains one of the most intense and talked about cases of extreme weight in medical history. Still, some managed to take back control. And our next story is about a woman who went from internet infamy to a shocking transformation. Mayra Rosales became known worldwide through a nickname that sounds like a tabloid headline, the half-ton killer. At one point, she was one of the heaviest living women, weighing in at over 1,000 pounds. Photos of her lying in bed, unable to move, spread fast online, but her story took an even stranger turn when she was accused of a crime she didn't commit, leading to one of the most unexpected transformations ever caught on camera. She was bedridden, needing help for nearly everything: eating, bathing, shifting positions. Her body was so large that paramedics had to reinforce walls just to get her through the doorway. But in the middle of her own health crisis, she got pulled into a legal one. Police believed she had harmed someone close to her. The twist? She was too heavy to have physically done it. Eventually the truth came out, it wasn't her, but the attention it brought changed her life forever. After years of being housebound, Mayra made a decision that no one expected. She chose to fight back. With the help of doctors, she underwent a series of intense surgeries, strict diets, and complete lifestyle changes. Over the years, she lost more than 800 pounds. Her transformation was so drastic, many people didn't believe it was the same person. What's powerful about Mayra's story is that she flipped the script completely. She went from being a passive figure in her own life to someone in full control. Today, she's unrecognizable from the woman she once was. Her skin hangs in folds, a reminder of what once was, but her spirit is lighter than ever. Her journey is living proof that even from the most extreme point, a person can start over. Still, Mayra wasn't the only man or woman to take on the fight against massive weight. The next case inspired a TV documentary, a hospital room on the second floor, and a crane just to get out the door. Patrick Deuel's story made national headlines not just because of his weight, but because of what had to be done to save his life. At his peak, he weighed over 1,070 pounds. His belly alone was wider than most people's torsos, and he hadn't left his home in Nebraska for years. He was trapped inside, physically and socially. His case was so intense that a crew from TLC came to document his life for a special called The Half-Ton Man. Doctors knew right away, if Patrick didn't lose weight fast, he wouldn't survive much longer. But before they could even begin treatment, there was one major challenge: getting him out of the house. The door frames were too narrow. The hallways? Impossible to fit through. Eventually they had to cut a hole in the side of his home and bring in a forklift just to move him safely. Inside the hospital, they placed Patrick on a strict, doctor-supervised diet. He lost nearly 300 pounds within a few months, an amount most people would consider extreme, but even then, his body was struggling. His heart had to work overtime to support his size, and his skin began to fold in layers. And yet, Patrick stayed sharp. He told his story with dry humor and brutal honesty, and viewers connected with him instantly. He wasn't just sitting there waiting for help, he wanted to change. And his journey wasn't about reaching thin. It was about surviving, about walking again, and about being able to hug his wife without needing a crane to adjust his position. Patrick Deuel became a symbol of what extreme weight looks like when there's still hope, and people still rooting for you. When people talk about extreme cases of body weight, Manuel Uribe's name always comes up, and for good reason. At one point, he was officially the heaviest living man in the world. We're talking over 1,200 pounds. That's not just heavy, it's record-breaking. Born in Monterrey, Mexico, Manuel had a regular life for a while. He worked, he dated, he loved good food. But as the years went on, his body couldn't keep up. Eventually, he reached a point where he could no longer walk. For the next 10 years, his bed became his entire world. And here's where his story takes a surprising turn. Manuel didn't fade into obscurity. He became a household name. News crews showed up at his house, cameras rolled, and he appeared on international television more than once. Viewers watched in amazement as his doctors and family tried to help him lose weight without being able to get him to a hospital. Everything had to be done bedside. Even his diet plans and checkups happened with him lying flat. One of the most memorable moments? His wedding. Yes, Manuel got married while still confined to his custom-built bed. Photos of the ceremony made headlines around the world. A tent was set up around him, guests gathered, and he exchanged vows right there, surrounded by balloons and media cameras. He couldn't stand, but that didn't stop him from living a moment most people dream about. Manuel did manage to shed hundreds of pounds over the years with strict help and a liquid-based diet. But even when the numbers started dropping, his story was about more than pounds. It was about how far someone could push against the odds from the comfort of a reinforced mattress. Now, speaking of dreams, let's meet a woman whose dream wasn't just to be loved, it was to be massive and married at the same time. Charity Pierce didn't just have a name people remembered, her story made sure of it. At her peak, she weighed over 750 pounds, making everyday tasks nearly impossible. But what caught the world's attention wasn't just her size, it was her dream to walk down the aisle. While most brides are busy picking out dresses and cake flavors, Charity was battling for her mobility, determined to marry the love of her life and stand beside him at the altar. She lived in Iowa and had been mostly bedridden for years, needing her daughter's help for nearly everything. Her home had to be adjusted to accommodate her size, and ambulances struggled just to get her to doctor appointments. But even with those obstacles, she stayed laser-focused on one thing, getting married. And not just someday, soon. Her fiancé Tony was 20 years younger, and their relationship raised eyebrows in online forums. But Charity didn't care. She said he made her feel beautiful, no matter what the scale said. Determined to lose weight before the big day, she began a strict medical diet and set her sights on a long-term weight loss surgery plan. The goal? To drop hundreds of pounds and walk on her own again. Photos of her journey spread across the internet, from her hospital bed to hopeful selfies. She wanted to fit into a custom-made wedding dress, and more than that, she wanted to dance. While most people were counting steps on their fitness watches, Charity was fighting just to take one step. And yet, through it all, she kept saying the same thing. I want to live. But if you thought 750 pounds was intense, wait until you hear about the man whose waist measured almost 10 feet around. Walter Hudson's waist was so large it could have been wrapped in a king-size bedsheet. Seriously, at its widest it measured 119 inches. That's nearly 10 feet around. He's still ranked as one of the largest waist sizes in history, and his life, much like his body, broke the limits of what anyone thought possible. Born in Brooklyn and raised in Long Island, Walter made headlines in the 1980s for his size and the daily challenges that came with it. Walter weighed in at over 1,000 pounds at his heaviest, but he didn't start that way. As a child, his weight climbed quickly, and by his teenage years, he already stood out. As an adult, things escalated. He ate over 30,000 calories a day, dozens of eggs for breakfast, entire loaves of bread, stacks of pancakes, pounds of sausage, and buckets of fried chicken. His story wasn't just about obesity, it was about excess on a level that's hard to process. Unlike some others, Walter didn't try to hide from the public. He gave interviews, appeared in magazines, and talked openly about his lifestyle. He slept in a specially built bed, and his bathroom had to be custom designed. Even with all the attention, he maintained a confident and even philosophical tone about his situation. His voice was soft-spoken, and his thoughts were clear. He wasn't trying to impress or shock anyone. He was just living the only way he knew how. Walter's story ends abruptly, but it still fascinates people today. His waistline remains a kind of record few have approached, and his name still pops up in discussions about the most extreme body transformations ever recorded. And while his size was extreme, our next person took the opposite route. She started large and went small, and her weight loss wasn't just incredible, it was historic. Rosalie Bradford's weight loss story is so jaw-dropping it sounds made up, but it's entirely real. At her heaviest, she weighed over 1,200 pounds. That's nearly the size of a fully grown polar bear. But what makes her story unique isn't just the number going up, it's what happened when it came down. Rosalie holds the record for the most weight lost by a woman. She dropped more than 900 pounds. Her weight problems began after an injury kept her stuck in bed. From there, her health spiraled and her eating habits followed. At one point, she was eating dozens of meals a day with no exercise and no ability to stand. But she never wanted fame. In fact, she stayed away from public life until her case caught the attention of Richard Simmons, the high-energy fitness guru known for his wild hair and even wilder workout videos. He stepped in and helped Rosalie launch a carefully supervised weight loss journey. It started slow, bedside stretches, minor dietary changes, but over time, she began to regain control. She eventually lost over 900 pounds, and her transformation stunned doctors. No surgery at first, no magic tricks, just sheer consistency, patience, and willpower. Rosalie later became a motivational speaker, sharing her story with others who felt trapped by their size. She turned her experience into a guidebook for how to take back a life when it seems too far gone. And while others are remembered for their size alone, Rosalie is remembered for what she let go of. Paul Mason was once called the world's fattest man, and for a while, that title fit. Living in the UK, Paul's weight reached a jaw-dropping 980 pounds. At one point, he was gaining weight so fast that he had to quit his job as a postal worker. Eventually, he couldn't leave his home. Daily life became a rotation of caregivers, deliveries, and time spent in a custom-built bed that took up most of his living room. But Paul's story isn't just about being stuck. It's about what happens when someone decides to fight back. And in Paul's case, the battle was intense. Just to qualify for weight loss surgery, he had to drop hundreds of pounds on his own. That meant surviving on a severely restricted diet and rebuilding trust with his doctors. After years of waiting, he finally underwent gastric bypass surgery. And what followed shocked even the experts. He dropped more than 600 pounds over the next few years. The difference was so extreme that his skin hung in loose sheets around his body. Paul later went through multiple skin removal surgeries which removed nearly 100 pounds of excess skin alone. He could walk again, sit in regular chairs, and travel overseas, something that was once unthinkable. He even made headlines for falling in love and moving to the US. But like many who face extreme weight changes, Paul's journey wasn't smooth forever. Over time, he struggled to keep the weight off and battled emotional setbacks. Still, his transformation remained one of the most powerful ever recorded. His before and after photos don't just show a thinner man, they show what it takes to come back from the brink. And while Paul's battle was fought later in life, our next story takes us to someone who made the change before even reaching adulthood. Caitlyn Smith was just a teenager, and while others have pushed their bodies to the limit through size, Caitlyn proved that even in the middle of your teen years, you can hit reset and rewrite your future. That's about it. How much do you weigh? Write in the comments. For more useful information, watch other videos.